Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Family Sedan channel. Outside of actual XRP bull runs, which I've seen a few of in my day, outside of that, I gotta tell you that this is the most exciting time it's ever been to be an XRP holder. And I say that for, well, a couple big reasons. Obviously, most obvious one, SECV Ripple case is about to be over, and I am very optimistic that what should be done from a legal perspective ultimately shall be done, even if Ripple technically gets some sort of loss. I'm anticipating a very positive legal outcome for XRP specifically because that's what makes sense. That's what case precedent should have us expect to occur. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed, but that's a gigantic reason to be excited, and that in conjunction with what is widely believed at this point by reputable analysts to be the beginning phases of a bull market. I mean, look at how crypto's been performing this year. It's up dramatically from last year. I think that the bottom, it's pretty clear, was November of last year with all the FTX nonsense. And unless we get a wildcard event, that was it. And so it's an amazing and exciting time to be an XRP holder. I've never been so optimistic and so excited for the future of XRP specifically. And look at this headline. This is from the Crypto Basic. Expert projects XRP breakout between July and December, forecasts 31x surge to $15. Now look, I don't make price predictions, I'm never going to, but that sure as hell does not sound crazy to me in the least. XRP is not going to stay in the range that it's in forever. The rough range, and I know it's been very volatile, but the range that it's been in for, the last 5+ years, it just isn't going to stay there forever. Eventually, it's going to cease to exist and go to zero, or it's going to hit a new all-time high. That's what I believe. It hasn't done either of those things yet, so I'm just going to keep patiently holding. But before going further, I do want to be clear. I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Now, at the time I'm recording this video, XRP is at 48 cents. Bitcoin's at $30,688. Market cap for the asset class 1.21 trillion, and Bitcoin dominance at 48.99%. Crypto Fear and Greed Index 62 out of 100, so back in greed. And that's mostly where we've been for much of the last week, frankly, so none of that's a surprise and happy to report. But I will tell you, I'm not the only one that is optimistic for the future. Look at this tweet from my fellow XRP YouTuber, the Blockchain Backer. Just this morning, he tweeted out, "Feels good to have more time to just sit and stare at charts again. It's been a long time since the market has looked this optimistic. July looks primed to be a heck of a great month." And by the way, a big part of what I find fascinating from when I'm reading a lot of analysis from various chart guys out there, although sometimes, yes, the SECV Ripple case conclusion comes up, when I see most of the analysis from all these guys, they're anticipating that even outside of that, you're going to see a big move to the upside. They're saying it's in the charts regardless. So then I think, okay, well, if they're right, it's not a guarantee, but if they're right and we get positive news to that degree, because look, I think that most of the time news that occurs in the world of crypto does about nothing for price of pretty much any crypto. This is one of those times where I think it will obviously be an exception. Obviously be an exception. So as far as this idea of XRP going to $15, 31-fold increase, roughly, doesn't sound crazy in the least. And I don't want to regurgitate other people's tea. I try to do that as little as possible on this channel anyway. I've done a little bit of it from time to time, but I think for most people that just want to understand what the ultimate expectation is from these chart guys, your eyes will glaze over less if I don't go into a bunch of the nonsense, because I just don't think that most people care to that degree. They're just kind of curious as to what the expectation is. So anyway, this particular analyst, though, without getting into that, is expecting this type of price range. And again, this is just what's in the charts outside of the conclusion of the SECV Ripple case. You're talking about from July to December. And I still think you would have seen a massive explosion already if not for the damn lawsuit. It's just a fact that XRP is the only crypto that during the last run in 2021, XRP was the only top 10 crypto that didn't hit a new all-time high. I firmly believe that it otherwise would have. And take a look at this. And so we're obviously not in the euphoric stage yet, but we gonna get there, I believe anyway. Take a look at this. There's somebody named DeFi Surfer who shared a Google Trends chart and interest over time in two separate things, Bitcoin and AI. And here I can make this full screen for a second. And so this guy wrote the following: retail interest in Bitcoin as measured by Google searches at rock bottom despite being up 85% year to date and creeping higher. Included comparison versus AI searches for context. So isn't that fascinating? Think about how high, as I was alluding to earlier, how great crypto's been performing this year. Where's the interest? Where are the searches on it? Where are the Bitcoin searches? Crypto's way up. Well, this actually is pretty normal. In fact, take a look at this from chart analyst Credible Crypto. He shared the following with his 342,100 followers. Looks about right for this stage of the market. By the time this metric starts spiking, we will probs have already broken prior all-time high. And then separately, he shared this, and this was from June 12th, but it's perfectly on point, so I want to share it. Check this out. If you believe we won't see new all-time highs on Bitcoin anytime soon because there is a lack of interest from the general public / retail, then you will be one of the data points on the chart below Googling how to buy Bitcoin once we are at new all-time highs. The image below perfectly demonstrates the idea that retail / general public only really get interested on a speculative asset after a massive price rise. The crypto market feels dead because it's supposed to be at this stage. If you're waiting for people to start talking about Bitcoin to jump back into the space, you'll probably be jumping back in at the local top or somewhere above new all-time highs. Yeah, and so you can compare this, if, for instance, think back to what the temperature in the room was in crypto at the beginning of 2017, which was before I even jumped in. I jumped in November of 2017, as things were, to put it euphoric, in terms of like it was just euphoria. I mean, it was that on steroids. Like the intensity at the end of 2017. That's all everybody was talking about at their Thanksgiving and and Christmas dinners. That's what was being discussed here. It wasn't being discussed nearly to that degree if you go back to the beginning of 2017 when Bitcoin was, whatever the price was, I can't remember if it was $1,000 or $2,000. It was very, very low. I'd have to go to a chart to check, but it was I think it was $1,000, I want to say. But it was very, very low. Very, very low compared to where it ended up by the end, towards the end of 2017. And it's not until it costs way, way, way more that people got interested. And this is always how it goes. There's so much less attention on crypto right now, and you can see it by checking a lot of interest comparative to what you'd see during the euphoric stages, including what happened in 2021. But it's going to come again. It's cyclical. Humans just keep doing the same crap over and over and over and over again. And I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. In fact, to drive the point home even further, which is why it's just, again, like an incredibly exciting time to be in crypto, take a look at this headline from the Daily Hodl. Trillions of dollars could flow into altcoin markets as crypto flashes gorgeous chart. Macro guru Raoul Pal. And by the way, macro guru Raoul Pal, former Goldman Sachs executive, does believe that XRP is going to exceed $10. And I know that because he was talking about an XRP 10x increase after the SEC v. Ripple lawsuit, because that's when he started purchasing XRP, he viewed it as an opportunity because it's such a discount. From the point when XRP was hanging out around $1, he said tenfold increase from there would be reasonable in his estimation. So he's in it. Anyway, piece reads as follows. Former Goldman Sachs executive Raoul Pal believes that a deluge of capital will likely flow into crypto as the altcoin markets gear up for a potential breakout. The macro guru tells his 997,100 Twitter followers that he's keeping a close watch on Total 3, a chart that tracks the total market capitalization of crypto assets excluding Bitcoin and Ethereum. And so as pause to note, it's pretty commonplace to see charts that remove the existence of Bitcoin so that you can just see what the altcoin market's going to do. And so I guess in this case, the purpose of Total 3, which again is every crypto on the planet except for Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bitcoin out for obvious reasons, if you're just trying to get a feel for what's happening in alt markets, and if you're taking Ethereum out, there must be because there's this understanding that it has reached escape velocity. It certainly looks like it to this point, and there's enough money in it right now that if you really want to get a feel for what's going to happen, they're sufficiently different. Let's just word it like that. Sufficiently different in terms of opportunity and multiplier effect. So I can see the utility in a chart like this, certainly. So anyway, piece continues though. According to Paul, Total 3 looks bullish as it trades close to the apex of a falling wedge structure, and a breakout could send the total market capitalization of altcoins above $4 trillion. Now, just for context, I'll note that the peak of the altcoin market when Bitcoin hit its all-time high was somewhere in the neighborhood of I want to say $3.2 trillion. And that's with everything including Bitcoin and ETH. So now we're talking about, even without Bitcoin and ETH, an expectation here from Raoul Pal that you're going to see a $4 trillion market cap for all the coins that are not Bitcoin and not ETH. So here's what he said, and here's the quote. Gorgeous chart alert. I keep staring at this chart. It is one of the most bullish and perfect charts I've ever seen. And the measured objective is well over $4 trillion. And again, that's just total market cap minus Bitcoin and ETH. And you know, it's so I see something like this. I believe the concept. I don't know that means he's right and it goes to 4 trillion or whatever. Maybe it is. I'm not saying it's not. But I look at this and I understand that the behaviors from the humans we keep seeing again and again and again, people not sufficiently paying attention. I mean, you are, so kudos to you for sure. And I very genuinely mean that. Good on you for paying attention, whatever you're doing in the crypto space. Good for you. Because like, this is where the opportunity is, in my personal opinion. You know, it's before the masses jump in, obviously. And so take a look at this. The piece continues. At time of writing, Total 3 is trading at around $332.65 billion. A move to $4 trillion suggests an upside potential of more than 1,100%. So, folks, again, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't make price predictions, but the idea of seeing those types of market caps, it does not seem wacky. To me, it seems pretty reasonable to suspect that there will be multiple coins at some point in the future, individual coins that have multi-trillion-dollar market caps. Why would that not happen, at least once we're in a mature market, whenever that is? So, you know, the idea of having a market cap for an entire asset class that's in the tens of trillions doesn't seem crazy to me. How would it not get? And it's so easy to understand why. If you understand why crypto isn't going away, which is a big conversation, but I've been talking about it for years, and I'm sure you've been thinking about it for a long time yourselves, there's that. So not only is it not going away, it's getting bigger. There's still only about 4% of humans on the planet that have ever jumped into crypto, and way less than 1% have ever held XRP. Way less than 1% of humans. And we've already seen market caps in basic category, various categories, however you want to slice and dice it, at these levels. We've already seen this. So why wouldn't it be way more, especially when you factor in, even if you look at it in a different consideration, not just the number of humans that are in, which is, you might as well round down to zero at this point. What about the institutional money? There has been some. You can see BlackRock coming in, you know, pushing for a spot Bitcoin ETF, no less. What do you think is going to happen? That's the type of activity that we've been waiting for. And so sitting here at this point when, yeah, there are some people paying attention like you and me, but understanding, like, if anything, this is close to the calm before the storm, because things are about to get buck wild. And that's why this is exciting. This is the most exciting time it's ever been to be an XRP holder outside of the actual euphoria, which is admittedly the most exciting for people, and I understand why. It's fun. It just is fun. When you see XRP price rocketing, I've been there a number of times, it happens in life. It is fun. It's a fun environment. Everybody's excited. It feels validating. I get all that. And I still think, even though we haven't seen a new all-time high for XRP, we're still validated in the way that we are analyzing the situation here, just broadly speaking. Doesn't mean that there's a guarantee, and I understand bad stuff could happen. Maybe we're wrong, it all goes to zero. Could happen. But I think that the optimism is pretty reasonably placed, and we'll just wait and see what actually happens here. But I'm still excited for it. I legitimately am. I cannot wait for the end of this damn lawsuit, because that's going to be a major, major trigger, I think. Hopefully in a positive direction. Either that, or I just wake up one day and then the price of XRP is like, I don't know, 3 cents. Then it was like, well, I guess Judge Torres didn't do right by us. You know? Not that it would actually go that low necessarily. I'm just saying. But even if that happens, I'm just going to continue to hold on, even if we get some sort of really bad news, because I think that a higher court's going to figure it out. And actually, there's another, I'm going to share this for a separate video. I mapped out content for my very next video already. And I learned something I hadn't seen it anywhere, and I heard it from an XRP community member, and then I vetted it myself. I looked and I fact checked it, and it's true. And it's a reason that and it's a huge reason actually that the SEC and their legal arguments are absolutely wrong. So I'm going to talk about that in my very next video. But as soon as I saw what I'm going to share with you, I just was like, yup. So even if a lower court gets something wrong here, let's just say I'm optimistic for a good reason. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the Moon Family Sedan.